A pretext is a purpose or a motive alleged or an appearance assumed in order to cloak the real intention or state of affairs.
Initial access. OMI is trying to get into your network.
Listen, this is your manager, and I'm trying to send off an email. I got this document. Need you to confirm a few details. So go ahead and log in and tell me what you think. I need this now, so to make this convenient, here is the link. I'm a threat actor, fishing mark for email is urgent to distract you with it. So how fast you clicked it when you submitted the form with your password in it. You probably couldn't tell there was an actual difference in the URL. The domains look alike though, and to you it look fine though. Well, mine had typos and make it look like yours. See, I was in the mood today to make your account a communal space, but then you activated your trap card, and I saw you had 2FA, but I just shrugged. I'ma shake it off. Got on kid gloves, I'ma take them off. Got your phone number, I'ma make a call. I'ma break this wall, it just makes me lol. I'm moving quick, I'm on a mission. Yeah, I heard your network is lit. I'm trying to get in. Yeah, I'm trying to get me a hit. When I go fishing. Yeah, you probably think it's legit. I got you clicking. Yeah. Hello. Hi. I'm calling you from the IT department. We have been under attack by some hackers, and we think that your account might be a target.
Oh no, how do I fix this?
No need to worry, I wrote up a ticket. You'll get a notification from your authenticator app, so please pass me them digits.
1 sec.
Okay.
Yeah. The code is 112345.
Thank you. You fell for the lie, so I hung up the phone without saying goodbye. Cutting it short like a crew cut. Probably think it won't happen to you, but it happened to Uber. They say you win some, you lose some. Boys got a smooth touch hacking you too, bruh. You know how I be creeping and I'm logging in your VP, and it probably looks anomalous. Some logs if you be keeping them, and probably unaware about the shares that have been peeping. And the reason I'll be seeking them, I'm looking for an easy win. You probably thought it was a magic trick, and you're mad you clicked. I'ma stack my chips and bet that a DA password is sitting in an admin script. I'm moving quick, I'm on a mission. Yeah, I heard your network is lit. I'm trying to get in. Yeah, I'm trying to get me a hit. When I go fishing. Yeah, you probably think it's legit. I got you clicking. I'm moving quick, I'm on a mission. Yeah, I heard your network is lit. I'm trying to get in. Yeah, I'm trying to get me a hit. When I go fishing. Yeah, you probably think it's legit. I got you clicking.
Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Hello. Yeah, go ahead, Kelly.
Okay. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another session of Generative AI in Azure. My name is Kende, and I'm here with my co-host.
Yep, I'm David. I'm David Okiode. So nice to be with you all again. I know it's been a while, but it's good to be back. Few things has been happening in between. So Kenny, good to see you again. How's everything going? Everything going okay?
Yeah, fine. You.
Yeah, busy, but it's the nature of things these days. Everything is all busy. Yeah. So like always, like one question usually comes to my mind whenever we meet, and that is any interesting thing in AI that popped up to you recently.
Yes. Okay, so I saw recently that Anthropic, they announced a new feature for their AI assistant, Claude. And this has the ability to directly operate a user's computer and handle tasks that people usually do on their own. And I think that's a very good development.
Yeah. Is that a Cloud Co-work by any means? Is it the one that they call Cloud Co-work? Yeah. I mean, I've heard a lot of like buzz around that. I've not actually like played around with it myself. I think I probably tested it just maybe once, but not not for like a long time and stuff. That's definitely a very interesting one. But for me, if I were to say like what's jumped out like these days with regards to AI in general, there was the recent news. There was a recent news that I heard, and I think it was something published by the Queen team. So just shows like the emerging nature of some of these AI agents. So what happened was they had like this AI agent, and the AI agent was just meant to just do certain tasks in the background. But it's not a security AI agent. It's an AI agent that completes some task in the background. And in order for it to complete the task, it needs certain compute. So what happened was the AI agent was doing its normal work, and then was like, oh, I need more compute to do what I need to do. And then it started looking around on the infrastructure. And then it saw some compute. And then it started investigating, oh, can I use some of this compute? And it was like, oh, this compute are heavily utilized. And so it started investigating what was using them, and uncovered a security issue. It wasn't asked to uncover a security issue. It was asked to do a task. But while doing the task, it was like, oh, by the way, I need some compute. And then he found some compute, and then started investigating and found some ransomware that was, sorry, not ransomware, some crypto miner that was doing some stuff. And it was like, oh, by the way, yeah, there's some compute over here. If I want to get rid of the crypto miner, I can use that compute to do my task. So again, it's just very interesting where things are going.
Okay, so to the business of the day. So
Yep.
today we're going to be looking at something that has to do with data analysis now, because that's my own field. So we're going to be looking at the Power BI MCP server.
That sounds
So
very
I'm going to share
interesting.
my screen.
I am interested in that. That sounds
Yes.
very, 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 very interesting.
Okay.
And by the way, I didn't know that like Power BI has like an AMCP
Mm,
server like this day. So it's very interesting to hear that, they are also going in that direction.
yes. So can you please see my screen? Can you confirm if you can see my
Yes, we
screen?
can see your screen. Yes.
Okay. Yes. So um I'm going to begin with what the Power BI MCP server actually is. So it is a local service that acts as a bridge between an AI assistant. And today, the AI assistant we're going to be using is going to be Claude in today's instance. And like we've said in previous sessions, we've discussed MCP, discussed what MCP is, and like we've defined previously, they are standard protocols that are used that AI models use to connect to external tools. So the external tool that the AI agent will be, the AI model or assistant will be connecting to today is going to be the Power BI. It's going to be the Power BI. So the Power BI MCP server, it is a local service that acts as a bridge between your AI assistant and your Power BI environment. So it allows you to interact directly with your data model. So I'm going to be showing us how that works, and also we'll be having like discussions at the end at like the future, because there's a lot of noise now around the fact that AI is already taking over most of the jobs performed by data analysts. So I'm going to begin in a minute. Okay. So I'll go ahead and share my entire screen instead so that we can see how that works in the Power BI itself. Okay. Hello, please can you come?
Sorry, I was speaking. Yes, yes, we can see your screen now. Yes.
Okay. Environment. And I currently on. So this is a sales data set. This is a shipping sales data set. So this is what my model currently looks like. So if I'm going to properly analyze this data now, or work with this data model, there are some missing things here, like a date table and measures table. So what I'm going to do now is to head over to Claude, because I already have MCP server configured already. Then I'll do that. When it comes to connectors here, this is the Claude desktop that I'm working on at the moment. So when it comes to connectors, you can see here that I have my Power BI MCP server here and it's turned on, meaning that it is currently active. So connecting it now to Power BI is very easy. So what this does now, that let's just go over that before I go through the demo. So what is that? Connects AI tools to Power BI for seamless data interaction, meaning that with this Power BI MCP server installed locally on my desktop, I'm able to interact with my Power BI environment with natural language. So it allows AI interaction. It allows Claude to directly interact with your Power BI data and visualizations. Then natural language control, like I said, just giving it prompts in natural language in plain English. I'm able to connect to Power BI and work and effect some changes in my Power BI environment without having to take any manual steps. Then this is how it works. You give it instructions, you describe what you want in natural language. Then Claude, which is our AI assistant today, is going to interpret that instruction. Then the MCP server then acts as a bridge between the AI assistant and the Power BI environment now. Then Power BI will then execute then executes my request in Power BI. Some of the key features that we have: natural language to DAX. So what this means is that DAX is data analysis expression. So I'm able to create DAX measures with just instructions written in natural language. I don't have to even have an idea of, like, if someone doesn't have an idea of like that domain, that data, like for example, a non-data analyst now can be able to communicate with Power BI effectively with natural language and tell it what to do, can even go ahead to create DAX measures. Secondly is automated measures, like I mentioned too. So you're able to create measures table same way using natural language. Then we have schema exploration, where data model explores the structure and the relationship. So it's also able to create relationship. For example, if it creates a date table and you already have a now the date table is going to be creating is a dimensions date table now. So they're able to carry out time intelligence analysis in this case. So that's where your year on year measures come in, your month on month measures come in. And lastly, faster workflows. So now it has eliminated the manual steps of creating these measures or working with your data models now. Okay, so I'll just go ahead and show us how that works. So like I mentioned, this data we're working with different sales data. And here, if you see in the fact sales table, I have an invoice date. And if I'm going to do a time intelligence measure, calculation or analysis rather, I have to have a dimensions table that will contain all the dates. If I'm looking at, for example, dates range between January of 2024 to December of 2025. What this this might not contain all of that date, all of those dates now. But if I create a date table, it's going to contain everything from the beginning of the date specified to the end of it. So what this is missing now is missing a date table. It's also missing measures. Measures are calculations. This is a sales table. So one of the measures we can create is total revenue. We can see the total quantity that this business sold and so on like that. So I'm just going to go ahead and yeah, I'm going to connect to my Power BI environment. So I'll just say hello. And one important thing is that before you do this, you ensure that your Power BI desktop is open. So I already have my Power BI desktop opened here. So I'll give it. Let me check for available connections and look at checking for any open Power connect to now. So I already have my desired file opened. So what I wanted to do is to connect to this file. So it said found a local instance. Let me connect now. So it's already found the file I opened. Yes. So you can see the same data I have, the sales same that it's found here. So it's connected to it. So yeah, it said now I'm linked to your sales data Power BI report. What would you like to do? It says I can explore the model, list tables, columns, relationship measures, run DAX queries, that is query your data directly, edit measures or columns, or export the model to TDML or TMSL format. So I want first things first is that I want a date table. So I'll just simply say build a date table. So it says, let me pick at the model to understand what date range exists in your data. So when it finds that date range, it now provides all the dates from the beginning of the year to the end so that we're able to carry out time intelligence analysis on our data. That's taking a bit of time. Let's see what is in Power BI. Okay, it's not done. Just going to wait for that to show. It's taking a while.
Yeah, so this looks very nice, Kenny. So I think maybe while we're waiting for that, there's a question that's come in the chat window. If you want me to read it, I can go ahead and read it out now.
Yes.
So I can ask it. Yeah. Okay. So let me go ahead and read that out now. So Babu Palan 4297 asks the question. Just to clarify, does this MCP server use structured or unstructured data? Specifically, is it restricted to SQL databases?
Okay, so in this instance here now, what I have here, let me go back to Power BI. What I have here is a structured data. So
Mm,
data tables now.
mm, Yeah, nice, nice. And I'm not like a data person like you are and stuff. So Power BI as itself, does it support both structured and unstructured data sets? So one can load. It doesn't matter whether it's unstructured.
Let me
One should be able to load that in the Power BI.
back. Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you now. It cut off for like a few
So why
seconds,
why
but I
that
can hear
is
you now.
still running? Because it shouldn't take this long. I'm going to just go ahead and have like the other discussion I mentioned earlier.
Mhm.
So roles and fields now, and one role that it is having a lot of like impact on, I'll say, is the field of data analysis, where people are now worried about the security of their jobs now. So I'm just going to go ahead and address that. So when it comes to data analysis, there is the AI capability side of things, and there is the human aspect of things. So for the AI capabilities part of it, what AI does, like I mentioned with Power BI, MCP server, when connected to an external to when the MCP server is connected to an external to like Power BI, what it does, or what I was trying to do just some minutes ago, was to build a date table. So AI excels in tasks that involves pattern recognition, data processing, and automated analysis. But when it comes to the human aspect of this, even after AI has done all of this, it has created the tables, built the measures, and all of that. What is left? The main reason for analysis is to make data-driven decisions. So what is left is to derive actionable insights from your analysis, which AI cannot do for you. So humans now, or human analysts now, are now the ones to now ask the right questions. They are the ones to interpret the business context, to communicate insights, because the end result of what I'm trying to do in Power BI now is to create a dashboard stories. So that is where communication comes in. So even after I built the dashboard, if I'm not able to effectively communicate my findings, is as good as useless, because the reason for analysis is to make based decisions, so that you're not based on baseless facts now. So that is one aspect where human analysts will have to focus on now. Then yeah. So what can AI do, and what still requires human data analysts? Yeah, it says AI strength, it's pattern recognition, data processes, automated analysis, it's write queries, build dashboards. Why for the human, ask questions, then interpret the context and communicate insights to the audience now. So now with AI, traditional data analyst tasks are now being performed by AI assistants. But it is having a positive impact, I would say, because it is automating a lot of repetitive tasks. Because when it comes to data analysis, a lot of our processes are repetitive: data cleaning, data transformation, data modeling, all of that, they are repetitive. This is where AI comes in. AI comes in and takes over those tasks. So the human is now left with the role of strategic decision making. Okay, I have this dashboard. What story is this dashboard telling? AI on its own, it is limited because of the data it has already been trained with. So human as or human analysts now, they have the business, they are armed with the what's it called, business goals, business objective. They know the end goal of this analysis, because every analysis must have an objective or goal, what you are trying to solve or what you are trying to do, what the analysis is meant to do now. Yeah. So it replaces tasks and not rules now, like I mentioned. So yeah, the tasks are divided into two: the mechanical tasks and the thinking tasks. So AI excels at mechanical tasks, while human excel at the thinking tasks. These mechanical tasks now they include data cleaning, like I mentioned, writing, that's SQL generation, um, and building charts and visualization, summarizing data, because you can give that dashboard to your AI assistant and ask it to generate insights from the dashboard that you have given to it. But it does not have the understanding of the business objective. It is unable to answer the right business questions, and it is also unable to like effectively interpret this result and the analysis. Also, storytelling or data communication now is very important, because if you do an analysis and you're not able to effectively communicate your findings, it's as good as useless. So that's one thing a dashboard or data visualization should be able to tell. Okay, we add high sales in this period. Are there factors that contribute or attribute to this? Okay, we notice that seasonal patterns, or when it is probably winter period, there's a drop in sales. So that's now the task that the human analyst now takes over. Then, so this is just a comparison and AI analyst. So for the AI analyst now, it is able to handle large data sets in a short while. For a human data analyst, such tasks can take time. It takes time to analyze, like you said, it takes time to analyze. But for AI systems, it's able to process this data and analyze it in a matter of seconds. And also accuracy. For AI systems or AI assistants now, they hallucinate a lot. So they can confidently make mistakes. This is where the human analyst comes in to verify that output. So you don't totally depend on that output that the AI assistant has given to you. You as an AI analyst now comes in and verify and make sure that you have the right output now. Then we have business understanding. AI systems lack context. They are limited when it comes to business knowledge. But for human analysts now, they understand the business objectives and goals. They understand the goal of what this analysis is supposed to do now. So what AI is taking over is not the role of data analyst, but rather the task. It's taking away the repetitive tasks now in this case. Then AI in model tools. So AI is now embedded in most of the tools that we data analysts use, from Power BI to Excel to other BI platforms. And the key capabilities, able to ask questions in natural language, you're able to get insights instantly, you're able to generate dashboard automatically, and also to recognize patterns. So same thing like we said to before, how it works in AI tools. Your questions are in natural language. So someone that is not knowledgeable enough about like these tools is still able to effectively use these tools and ask questions in English, in plain English that they understand. Then the AI will then interpret it and give the result or the output. And the benefit of this is speed, because what would it has cut off the time that it would take you to do this repetitive tasks. It has taken it away already. Yeah. Then the industry shift, the evolution from traditional reporting to strategic decision making. So the traditional role of data analyst now is now shifting from reporting or building dashboards now. Since AI, we already have AI assistants that are able to do all of this. It has now moved it to decision making because you can't trust the decisions of an AI system. Like they have to be checks and balances. They have to be like human to verify each output. Then strategic decision making. The human are the ones armed with the business objectives or business goals, which AI probably has no knowledge of. Yeah, so the old role involves reporting, which focuses on generating reports, dashboards, and data summary. So here they write manual SQL queries, build dashboards, reports, findings in data. Now it's now moved to the role of decision making. So the analysts now focus on strategic insights and recommendations, and also they are the ones that influence decisions taken. So uses AI to generate SQL, explains insight, and influences decision. Okay, so the biggest risk of AI. So there are limitations of AI when it comes to data analysis. So firstly, we have incorrect insights. So when you poorly prompt the AI system, it can lead to errors or it can produce incorrect results. Or even sometimes it might have given the right prompt, but AI hallucinates a lot. And why is that so? It is limited in knowledge because it is limited by the data that it has been trained with. Then also it can also introduce bias. So it can introduce bias in terms of like put more some like segment of people some in its output it can favor some segment or some group of people to the others. Then the next is overconfidence, false sense of security, where it encourages overconfidence in AI generated results. So while AI agents or AI systems or AI assistants are very helpful, their results should not be 100% trusted without verification. So at every point, AI outputs should always be verified to make sure that um you have the right results. Yes, you have the right results. Yeah, so staying relevant. So there are some areas for data analysts to focus on in this era of AI that we are in. First is to learn those tools, to master those AI tools and systems. Because what we are now going to have as AI keeps on evolving is instead of a traditional role of a data analyst, what we'll be seeing are AI powered data analysts who are able to maximize or use these AI tools rightly to enhance their capabilities and their workflow efficiency now. So, second is to build business understanding. So, you need to understand or have a knowledge of your business operations, the strategies, the industry specific challenges, because this is what now influences um, some of these decisions that you now make now. Then we have improved critical thinking. So rather than solely depending on AI to carry out these tasks now, you need to develop analytical skills that to evaluate this output and identify errors and biases. Because if you are not able to think critically, if you are not armed with the right information, AI can produce a result that is false but presents it as accurate now. Then the last thing is to master storytelling. That's where data communication comes in. So you must be able to effectively communicate your findings. Okay, yes, I have this dashboard. What is this dashboard saying? What story is it telling now? What am I able to derive from this visualization now? So data visualization is just beyond creating beautiful charts and all. They must tell a story, they must communicate something. So for a data analyst to stay relevant in this era of AI, this is an important skill to master. Then the strengths of AI, or the areas where AI excels in. We have data cleaning and preparation. That's part of the repeated tasks that data analysts do rather. So when you get a data set, you always want to check for inconsistency in your data, you want to check for inaccuracy in your data before going on to work on that data. Then it also excels in detecting trends and anomalies. Like, it's very good at pattern recognition, very very good. Then we have predictive modeling and forecasting. It's able to predict um, future trends and analysis. Then we have repetitive reporting, automated reports generation. It does so well when it comes to this. Then early stage decision support, where it involves initial analysis and recommendation. It does very, very well when it comes to this task now. So for human data analysts or human analysts now, there are critical areas where they also excel at. We have contextual understanding, understanding the business context, the industry. Because when it comes to analyzing data, for example, like before you go ahead in your analysis, you really need to understand what this probably the industry, if it's a let's say finance data you're working on, for example, you must have like a little bit of finance understanding to guide your analysis. For example, let's check if this has gone through. Okay, let's try again. Saying, for example, you ask the AI system to create measures for you from your data. If you don't have the understanding of what this measure means or understand what it does, you are not even able to effectively make use of the end result or the output that the AI assistant or system is going to give. So that domain knowledge is very, 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 very important. So recognize industry specific patterns and asking the right questions. Yes. So when it comes to data analysis now, so every analysis has some questions it is looking to answer, or some objectives it is willing to derive now. So you must be able to properly understand that. And if the AI system now, or the tool, generates a dashboard for you, for example, it can generate something that is outside the objective you're trying to achieve. So that's also very important. Then we have detecting bias and ethics. Human oversight is very, very important when it comes to identifying bias in data and ensuring ethical analysis practice. So the human now is able to spot data collection bias. If there was bias in the data collection, is able to make sure that there is fair representation among the different groups that we have. Then they're also able to validate the ethical implications. Also, we have storytelling and communication. So now, storytelling, that's crafting like stories or narrative that translates complex data into actionable insights um for our stakeholders now. So the goal, like I said, is to derive um data-based to take data-based actions. Yes, data-based actions. So when you are communicating your findings to stakeholders now, for example, you're able to identify, so in this between January and March, we had a surge in sales. Then between June and July, we had low sales. Why? Able to tell the why, explain why this happens. Yeah. So handling novel or messy data sets. So AI now is not good at this because AI is not able to handle new scenarios because it's already limited by the trained data sets, the data that it has been trained on. But for humans now, humans are able to deal with new scenarios, new instances now. So human excel at dealing with unstructured, incomplete, unprecedented data scenarios. So they're able to effectively navigate this. So the key takeaway from all of this is that AI complements human analysts, but what they cannot replace is the critical thinking and the creativity of humans. So let's go ahead and see whether this works. For some reason, I think I will have to close this and so I don't know why that's taking time. Okay, it's back here. So let's stop. A table.
So while on that is thinking, Kenny, that was really awesome. Thanks very much for that. So there's a quick few questions that came up in the chat window. Some of them that I was able to answer, I responded, but maybe you can just confirm that I've given the right response. So one of the questions that came in is, like, where do you configure, the MCP server? And I
So
responded by saying you configure. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, Kenny, please.
you can go ahead.
Oh, no, so the response that I put in there, I'll just read it and then you can confirm whether that's.
Yes.
Yeah, so that came in from Babu Palam 4297. So he said that was installed and added to Claude's MCP configuration file. The Claude desktop config that was installed locally and then the configuration added to the Claude config file.
Yes. So I have it installed locally. So Cloud desktop is installed locally, then the Power BI MCP server 2 is installed locally. So you just simply to confirm if you have it. Uh, let's go to settings, then extensions. Okay, yeah. So because I already have my own configured, that's why it's showing here. But if it's someone that is just newly doing that, you just need to just come to edit config and get that done with.
Nice. Thanks very much for that. So
Yes.
the other question that came in is around said, and so again came in from Badam 4297, says if a business wants to implement these over traditional SQL databases, do we need to start from scratch? Oh, okay. So
I'm
maybe I
not sure.
might have misunderstood this question. So, okay, yeah. So this is a very, yeah. So maybe, yeah, I think I maybe misunderstood Palam's question in terms of, I thought it was asking if you want to implement a similar thing in an enterprise. But it's actually asking if a business wants to, maybe they're building an application And maybe instead of just using database connection string to connect to the database, they want to essentially have an AI agent that's connected to the database. Number one, is that something that you actually recommend, Kenny? Like to an organization to say in production, yeah, go ahead and get your application to use AI agents to talk
I didn't
directly
get
to the.
that.
Yeah, okay, no, so the question, let me read the question again. So it says, if a business wants to implement these over traditional SQL database, do they need to start from scratch? And my guess would be maybe what Babu Palam is asking is, if an organization has an application that needs to speak to a SQL database, so but instead of using the traditional method, they want to use an MCP server with an AI agent to connect to that SQL database. That do they need to change their processes? I'm just guessing here what Babu Palam is referring to. But is that something that you even recommend to an organization to say, they start building applications that uses AI agents to communicate with production databases? Is that something that's recommended, you think? Oh, I think Kenny's connection froze, and I think our connection dropped. So Kenny might not be able to answer this one, unfortunately, because the connection dropped. Just some network connection issues. Yeah, I mean, I can give like my own thoughts around that, and we can see if Ken is able to reconnect. Otherwise, we can bring it up in the next session. So I'll say for many organizations that I've seen, many people are just still experimenting because there's still a lot of unknowns when it comes to actually going full AI native, especially when you're talking about something as sensitive as database interactions. We can, depending on the type of data that you're referring to, there could be a lot of implication if something was to go wrong. So it's an organization experimenting, it's doing more AI native database interactions, but I'm as yet to see anyone actually go fully into that when it comes to production. So that's just my own thoughts around that. If Ken is hopefully that gives you like some context, but if Ken is able to join, I can ask the question again. So, okay, I can see Babu Palam asked, especially to investigate any errors and altering business logic. I will say, Babu Palam, I'll say for investigating errors, yes, there's a lot of that. Actually, in Azure, you see a lot of that already with many of the Copilot agents that Microsoft released into Azure, a lot of investigation of errors. But when it comes to altering business logic, I'll say that's the part that a lot of people are just still experimenting. So the core concern that people have is that you have a probabilistic model. So these models are probabilistic. And what that means is it's really difficult to have a determined execution path. It is possible for the agent that's using the model, it's possible for it to make a decision that you completely don't expect. So would you trust something that is probabilistic with sensitive business logic? So I think that's the main question around that, because sometimes you still see that some of these things are, again, they're probabilistic. You can't really determine their execution path. So it's possible for it to execute and reason correctly 99 times, but then one time it goes off script and does something completely unexpected. And when it does that, you may not be able to trace it back. Why did it make that decision? Why did he decide to go for this execution path versus what it's been doing 99% of the other time? So that's the challenge that I think many organizations are struggling with, which is, again, in my own experience, many people, when it comes to sensitive business logic, there's a lot of experimentation, but not a lot of like actual rollouts to production. But when it comes to error handling, definitely that's a less sensitive issue. So many people are definitely leveraging AI native when it comes to investigating errors. I hope that that gives you like my own thoughts around that, Babu Palam. And thanks very much for the questions. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think that we'll have to stop here for today. So I think Kenny's network connection doesn't seem to be coming back. So I think she's unable to join us again today. But thanks very much for joining. Hopefully you got one or two things out of the session. And again, we'll pick it up again in about 2 weeks where we'll carry on with our conversation on generative AI in Azure. Thanks very much for joining us today, and we'll see you next time. Have a lovely rest of the day. Bye.